Good evening and welcome to today's video, which is inspired by Bentinho Massaro, one of my favourite spiritual teachers out there. He was talking about the power of imagination, and many people believe that we should be predominantly in the present moment and accepting what is. Now, what he's saying, and what I think is true here, is that when we go back to our childhood, we were predominantly in our imaginations, dreaming and desiring and imagining all sorts of possible futures. And there's an inherent wisdom there within children before it's drummed out of them by the indoctrination system or schooling system or whatever you want to call it. Generally speaking, not all the time, but I think many times in society we rob children of that inherent ability and wisdom that they have, in different ways, subtle ways sometimes, even with the use of certain language, like who do you want to be when you grow up. It's like, it's almost implying that you're not enough as you are. This is something that came up in our conversation with a couple of friends this evening. That's, on the one hand, it presupposes that you're not enough as you are, or you need to be someone, or fit into a box and fit a label of who you should be, or rather than actually accepting who you are. But it's a weird one here, because it does take you into the future, like, oh, who do I want to be? What do I want to be? What do I want to do? It can fire the imagination, but it can also limit us in some way, or make us feel not enough, and not enjoy the present moment, which is all there ever is. There is no past, there is no future. It's only a construct of the mind. There is only the eternal present moment, the now. So there's some seemingly paradoxical ideas here, but I think, when you look at all the law of attraction stuff, and the idea that, we create our reality, the physical reality is a reflection of our inner reality. So the idea that we don't see the world as it is, we see the world as we are. So we are striving to regain that alignment with our core self, to raise our vibration so that we can envisage a brighter future, which I think is very poignant at this time, where the world is seemingly going to pot, as it were. But I think if we can utilize the power of imagination, like Einstein said, logic will take you from A to B, but the power of imagination will take you anywhere. And I think there's an inherent truth and wisdom in that statement that we all know, but often we forget that as children. We intuitively know that the imagination is very powerful. If we envisage something and we keep focusing our attention on it and bring it to life, as it were. There are so many examples of people that, even in our own lives, where we've focused on something enough. For me, it was always having flash cars. I loved having nice cars, and somehow I made that happen. I was never, growing during my 20s, and even in my 30s, I was never very affluent, but I always managed to find money for that nice car and to drive around in that. it was a priority for me. And you know, okay, I may had to make sacrifices in other areas, but I was constantly thinking about it, dreaming about it, imagining it, and then, you know, over time those things then manifested. And yeah, so there's, it seems like there's two conflicting ideas here of being in the now and enjoying the now, and utilising the power of the imagination, and being in the future where we close that gap between what is and what we would like to happen, or where we want to be. So I guess I'm putting this out there because it's still something that I'm working on myself and figuring out for myself. So I guess it's about balance, really. So being okay with where we are now and accepting it, but also using the inherent power that we have through the imagination to create something greater, something better, something that we want to move towards. And many of the great teachers out there who I listen to on a regular basis, most of them, if not all, say pretty much the same thing in a different way. So it comes in different forms, different language. But what I take from a lot of these people is that in order to feel good about ourselves, we need to feel like we're making progress. So as long as we feel we're making progress, we don't feel stuck. We feel like we're moving forward and getting better. And even though at our core essence we are all perfect, you know, on that higher level or higher plane of consciousness, or the higher self, or whatever label you use, I believe that's true. But at the same time, paradoxically again, that when we're in the physical body, we feel like we need to strive, we need to aim for something and be more than or better than who we are now. And somehow I think it's about aligning these two seemingly opposing viewpoints. And yeah, I'm not saying that I have the answers, because as I said, this is a work in progress, but I guess I'm just putting it out there in this video so that people can just ponder that question and tune in and see what feels right for you. But yeah, it's certainly a very interesting subject or topic to ponder. But yeah, ultimately I think it's about feeling good about ourselves, and when we do that and we focus on our own alignment with our core values and our desires, and when we do that we feel on a higher vibration. So you know, this is everything's about energy, frequency and vibration at the quantum level or the molecular level or the atomic level or whatever. And I think that's been proven not only thousands of years ago by the mystics, or not proven as such, but philosophized by those great masters over the millennia, but also now science has backed that up with the recent discoveries and experiments like the double slit and various other experiments in the quantum realm to verify what's been talked about for thousands of years to be true and accurate. So when you look at it like that, if we raise our own vibration and frequency, then naturally we will attract better things in our life, and things that resonate with that frequency, and people that resonate with that frequency. And I've certainly noticed it in my life that when I do that and focus on my own well-being and my own vibration, then naturally I attract those things on the same frequency, if you like. And I'm sure we've all had experiences like that. You know, it's like when it's like two people can start the day in exactly the same way, or two people can have exactly the same experience, but one views it in a negative way and one views it in a neutral or positive way. So, you know, I think it's, you know, about being mindful of our own state of being, as it were, or how we label things, how we frame things. So if we can be more aware, then we can tune into higher feeling thoughts or vibrations, like, you know, coming back to gratitude for simple things that we often take for granted, instead of feeling like, oh, poor me, you know, this has happened, and all that nonsense that the mind drags us into. So yeah, once we become more aware and more mindful of that, I think we can then change the outcome. Not always immediately, but I think, you know, even if we can make ourselves feel a little better, and sometimes if it's that bad, then sometimes we just need to take a nap or have a chat with somebody and let go of some shit or whatever it may be. Just have to find a way that works for you, and yeah. So I think I'm going to leave it there, because I'm just kind of I feel like I'm going to waffle now. So yeah, peace to you all, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. And for any comments that you would like to add to this video or any of the other videos I've put out there. So for me, this is about just practicing the art of putting videos out there, and putting into practice the art of not giving a what is it? The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. Yeah, so feel the fear and do it anyway, you know, non-judgment of self, and being okay with pausing and stuttering and making mistakes, and yeah, allowing myself to get better at doing these videos. So my encouragement is for you to do something for you that makes you feel better, and face one little fear of yours and feel the expansion that comes from that. So yeah, many people out there talked about these things. Jeff Thompson comes to mind. He's talked a lot about this in his many books and interviews that he's done about facing fears and how it empowers us, makes us feel better about ourselves and feel like we're making progress. So yeah, that's what I'm going to put out there in this video, and I look forward to hearing from you if you feel the desire to comment. So yeah, take care, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.